Hey guys, this is IrieStarcraft and I'm back to cast another game for you. This one will be a 4 versus 4 and it's going to be on Extinction, and it will be between Geeb, the red Zerg, and Dinky, the teal Zerg, and Gatorduck, the blue Protoss, and Gord, the purple Zerg. Their opponents will be Plagues, the pink Zerg, and iRageQuit, the green Terran player, and Rizza, the orange Terran, and niknight will be the yellow Protoss. And this gets thrown around way too much for my taste, but I'm gonna move on from that. Anyway, season 3 is starting for Starcraft 2 on Battle.net, and so that is gonna be super awesome and everything, as everybody has to do a new placement match, and apparently there's something called like your MMR, which is like your hidden skill rating that like determines where you get placed. So everybody's like moaning and crying about, oh, I was Platinum League last season and I did a placement match and my partner sucked, so now I'm Silver. I don't think Battle.net is dumb enough to make that mistake. So anyway, we'll see if you can get your way back up in your division. Anyway, looking forward to this game. There's some new maps, by the way, though Extinction, this map is still in the map pool, so yay for that. But I think Megaton is gone from 4v4, and I played a lot of fun games on that map, so it's sad to see it go, but Megaton is the one that's even more shared than this map. But anyway, this is a master level game. It should be master levels, and this map definitely makes for some exciting games. So let's check out some of the build orders and see what is the haps here. Rizza is going for 2 early barracks and completely walling off this ramp. Meanwhile, niknight looks to be setting up some sort of choke point at this ramp with his gateway and most likely a cybernetic core. Just kidding, we're going to build extra probes here. And now, yes, we are getting a cybernetic core! Yay! And iRageQuit, 2 barracks here, and just now starting a refinery, so expect to see a lot of Marines from the Terran players on the bottom. Plagues, meanwhile, I did not check all the spawning pools and stuff, but I don't see any Zerglings running around the map. Very interesting, there is a Roach Warren going down for Plagues. However, on the top side with triple Zerg, man, triple Zerg, extremely powerful, and so far we have a couple of scouting Zerglings, it looks like, running across the map here. And however, no expansions on the top team. So the Zerg players on the top side just going for a very economic build, I swear, unless I'm missing something. So these Zerglings for Dinky just going to chill outside here and see what is happening. There is a bunch of Marines here, so that is not going to bode too well. And now we're going to come check out the Protoss front here. niknight looks to have completely walled in here with a forge, and these Zerglings, if they decide to run up here, can freely peck away. However, the Marines are coming around, and the cannon is going down, so the Marines should be able to ward that away. So interesting, niknight going for a complete wall in there, and a Stargate on the way for the yellow Protoss player. So we will see what he elects to go there. Oftentimes, a quick Void Ray followed up by Phoenix can be effective in the early game. We'll see if that's what his plan is. And already going for air weapons level 1 and beginning production on a Phoenix. So very unorthodox opening here for niknight. Using the Chrono Boost on his Stargates, we're going to be getting out a bunch of Phoenix as soon as possible. We'll see if he does some mineral harassment. And now Plagues with a few roaches is going to travel across the map here. Apparently niknight wants to get this area scouted. They will not find anything, and those roaches are going to take forever to get there, so not the best scouting unit here are the roaches. Better off using an Overlord and perhaps some Zerglings. An expansion for Rizza is going down. And a factory now on the way. No Marauders yet, still just Marines coming out, and the same for iRageQuit. And meanwhile, top team, Dinky has established his expansion and is already mining a decent amount up there. Gatorduck has gone for an expansion as well. It looks like just now finishing a second gateway, so some serious macro openings from everybody here, and Gord now has established this expansion. We're establishing everything. We're the establishment on the top team. And so 2 expansions for the bottom, 3 expansions for the top team so far. And Niknight now going to be taking this middle area to make it an even 3-3 in expansions. And Geeb massing up roaches, going for a lair attack here. We'll see if there's possibly some mutas on the way. And what's going on with those Phoenix? We're massing Phoenix down here. 5 of them, a 6th one coming out, still being chrono boosted. Niknight now getting a 2nd Stargate. So this definitely looks like a mass Phoenix build of something that can be extremely effective in these 4v4 games. If you allow there to get too many Phoenix on the field, they can become just impossible to deal with. However, infestors can be very powerful against them. So I would definitely, once these Phoenix, which still have not been revealed, which is a key thing right there. The Phoenix have not been revealed. No mineral harassment has been done though, however, so missing out on an opportunity there. And it looks like the top team is going to be making an attack here. Plague's getting his roaches caught slightly out of position. 1 force field splitting them up slightly. However, there's a tank back here for iRageQuit, and a lot of Marines are all in firing range. The great positioning for the left team. However, there's just too many forces from the right. They're going to need help. And a 2nd tank coming out from RageQuit. Now the siege mode has finished, so the 1 tank in the back is going to siege up. The tank in the front is not. And now going to siege up. I think iRageQuit is going to need some help here. This tank is going to go down. However, RageQuit is doing a ton of damage with his attack, and the Phoenix have been revealed flying in to lift off a stalker or 2 here. And now going to be lifting up some roaches and taking care of those. So the Phoenix have been revealed. I expect to see some counters coming down right away. You see Hydralisk Desk going down for Geeb, and at the same time for Gord. There is a Spire nearing completion, and up here for Dinky an Infestation Pit. So they are going for the trifecta Phoenix counter of Hydra, Infestor, and Muta. And actually Muta aren't that good of a counter. Corruptor is a much stronger counter against Phoenix because of the bonus damage versus light. You can see that, and each it says 11 damage, but there are 2 attacks per attack. I know that seems weird, but so that is 22 damage per shot, I believe, to anything that is light air unit or a light ground unit that is lifted off. And Geeb is trying to take this high yield. I don't see that happening. Phoenix will easily clean up this queen. They won't be able to do anything about the hatchery, but it looks like there will be some roaches on the way to deal with that quickly. So these Phoenix are going to prove extremely powerful in this game. And niknight is relentless right now. Pumping Phoenix, that's all he has units-wise. He has probes and Phoenix. So, in a 1v1, that's not going to do too well because you'll just get steamrolled on the ground. But in a 4v4 in coalition with other forces, these Phoenix can be so powerful. Even if you get enough of them, which is what niknight is doing right now, you will be able to even overwhelm an army of Hydralisks. I've seen it happen plenty of times. And now, by the way, Dinky grabbing this expansion up top, throwing down Spore Crawlers, exactly what he needs to do. 3 of them up here. And the Phoenix, I don't believe has scouted that yet, but they are probably about to scout that, and these Spore Crawlers will make it difficult for the Phoenix to harass. However, they will be vulnerable, obviously, to some ground army, but Dinky is sending some Zerglings over here. And that may be for defensive purposes, or just to scout if anybody is going to try and take out that base. Those Zerglings are going to try and intercept Gatorduck with some Stalkers here, enough to do some damage, but niknight paying close attention there. Another thing about Phoenix, you have to micro like mad crazy, and Dinky with 1 infestor out, 3 more are on the way. Those are going to be so strong against the Phoenix using that fungal growth. Rizza, though, has switched up his tech into Thors, and now he has a ball of Marines and Thors coming up to this base, and that is going to spell huge trouble. Dinky may try and defend this with this small amount of roaches, but that is definitely going to be trouble, especially with all these Phoenix in there. Already, Dinky nearly has a full command bar at Phoenix, and they may try and fly in here and assist. However, these Spore Crawlers will cause them to take a lot of damage. There are a lot of Stalkers coming around the back, and that could prove to be trouble for Riz's army. And Gatorduck is going to try and pick off this Thor in the back. It looks like a bunch of sentries coming in here. Using that Guardian Shield a little premature there, but those really making those Marines less effective. It looks like Rizza may actually be able to escape with these Thors. They are going to take some damage chasing. No, the Thors are going to stop, turn around and fight, and they will be able to kill these roaches because the Stalkers from Gatorduck gave up the pursuit. So Gatorduck missing out on an opportunity there, it looks like, and more Thors coming out for Rizza. And there is a Dark Shrine, by the way, finishing just now for Gatorduck. So here comes the DTs. And, oh man, I love me some DTs. This is going to be sweet. IrieStarcraft is flying an expansion up to this high ground, and he's even going to kill his rocks, I guess, just to get these SCVs up there. One thing you can do, by the way, I'm sure most of you know this, but you can wait to upgrade your command center, and you can load 5 SCVs into the command center, land it up here, and then unload and change it into an orbital command. And you can transport 5 SCVs with it that way. Phoenix making quick work of some queens here and a couple of mutas. More mutas on the way for Gord. However, this ball of Phoenix is just going to eat them for breakfast. The mutas die so fast to this ball of Phoenix. And continuing to do harassment here, I feel like I'm worried about missing some Dark Templars. There are 6 DTs on the map right now. Where are they? They are all right here running straight across. So there were no proxy pylons. I'm not missing anything yet. The DTs are on the way across the map, and they are going to run right into these Thors. There's a missile turret right here. Oh my god. The DTs just ran into the meat grinder with the missile turret from Rizza. Talk about paying for itself, that missile turret. Now these Phoenix have been softened up a little by these Hydras. They could completely straight up engage this army of Hydralisks, but it looks like they're going to continue to harass. And they probably are going to fly into this mineral line for Gatorduck, and they will be able to kill so many probes if they want to. Meanwhile, niknight, look at this, just continuing to pump Phoenix. He's got a fleet beacon out just so that he can get his air upgrades. And what happened to his cybernetics core? It's right here. Okay, I know what's going on here. Somehow I didn't see that a second ago. I am partially blind in one brain hemisphere. But it looks like IrieStarcraft managed to sneak some Marines up in here and take out the hatchery. How did I not see this coming? And at the same time, Geeb is trapping plagues, hydras, and roaches in here. And same with the Marines, all getting taken out. Geeb cleaning up that attack with the assist from some of Dinky's fungal growths, and niknight, meanwhile, just chilling with his Phoenix up here. Could have possibly supported that attack. However, now he is going to fly into the mineral line, pick up a ton of probes, but there are a bunch of stalkers here, and niknight suffering some more casualties on those Phoenix. I feel like he could even straight up engage this army of stalkers if he wanted to with this army, but it is just going to chill back here for now. IrieStarcraft, meanwhile, is going to defend this expansion, and look at Dinky is just streaming all these infestors, roaches, zerglings all the way over to this high yield. Gatorduck leaving half of his army over here. And so this is going to be an impregnable defense up at this base. And meanwhile, somebody, it looks like that is Plagues, wants to get that high yield for the bottom team. Whoa, Phoenix, whoa, hey now! And flying into a very large ball of Hydralisks and a couple of Corruptors. These Phoenix up here are getting softened up quite a bit. It looks like niknight really wants to bring these Phoenix all the way back home because their numbers have gotten so low. But he will obviously be able to bolster that quite a bit with all of these Phoenix down here and lots of energy being saved up. And oh, the fungal growth going off from Dinky is going to catch a bunch of these Phoenix. Nice play right there, and Gatorduck blinking underneath to take them all out except one, and there goes the last one from the Spore Crawler. So the top team's doing what they need to do. They got the units they need to deal with all these Phoenix. We'll see if it costs them anywhere else. It looks like, whoa! A main hatchery just got sniped out by Plague with some burrowed roaches that are just chilling here. How did I miss that? Oh my god, you guys. A nice play right here from Plague with some burrowed roaches. And at the same time, it looks like Dinky is trying to press into this meat grinder of Thors and siege tanks. This could be huge trouble, but look at that neural parasites going off all over the Thors. The Thors are turning around and annihilating all the siege tanks. However, these roaches really need to focus down the Thors now before they come unneural parasited, and some fungal growths going off all over the Phoenix. However, there's just too many Phoenix. They're going to lift off the infestors, and even lifting off all of the stalkers. The Phoenix are going to destroy this entire army. Stalker's extremely robust against Phoenix, however, look how many there are, just way too many of them. At the same time, RageQuit is going to be sending an army around the back, and it looks like that group of roaches finally did get cleaned up that was up here in the main. RageQuit going to be setting up a defense over in this position. I wonder if he's going to even try and expand up here. There are DTs slicing and dicing units in the middle of the map, a huge army of them, 7 in DT terms. That is pretty huge, and they're going to come right into Rage's main. There is a missile turret here, however there are no units to defend it. This Overseer is about to warp in for plagues and likely be following these DTs around, however they have nothing to kill it. The Hydralisk from plagues are going to be coming over to try and deal with it. A scan even going off, a little panic scan there, as there is an Overseer sitting right on top of them. The DTs, however, will quickly slice and dice all of these Hydralisks, and actually it looks like they've been softened up to about 5 of them and going right after all of these tech structures. RageQuit is going to be forced to lift off. At the same time, Hydra's trying to engage an army of Marauders and a couple of Siege Tanks Phoenix coming in to help clean that attack up. So a lot of action going off. I keep seeing a flash over here, so sorry about that. And because I don't want to be missing anything, as the DTs are still on the loose in here, killing refineries, and now one of them being morphed into an Archon, it looks like, or 2 of them I should say, and just melting some Marauders here. This group of DTs has completely annihilated RageQuit's main base, and he still has most of his army sitting over here. This command center is only halfway to where it wanted to go. It wanted to go up here, but Geeb has tried to take this base, and so they're going to have to do something about that base pretty quickly. Meanwhile, wow, Phoenix. That is a lot of Phoenix, and I'm sure there's plenty more on the way. Yeah, why not? More and more Phoenix and cannons. Phoenix and cannon strategy. A couple of Spore Callers looks like are going to deter that harassment, but really with this many Phoenix, man. Oh, look at these Overlords. Just juicy, juicy, juicy. All these Overlords sitting here. These Phoenix, such a pain to deal with. There are some Corruptors for Gord out here, but there are just not enough of them. A couple of Fungal Growths. One Fungal Growth on top of that Phoenix, taking them out, but there's so many Phoenix. They can't get them all. He's going to need 1 million Infestors just to deal with. The Infestors and Hydras need to be grouped up together. Hydras for Dinky are going to run under here, but quickly get lifted off and taken out. These Phoenix, so powerful when you get to this high of a number. At the same time, a major battle occurring down at the bottom. It looks like Gatorduck has tried to move in to support this attack of his Dark Templars and is sort of getting cornered here, but it looks like he will be able to beat this army of Hydralisks from Plague with superior positioning. It's going to be very close, but it looks like pretty much eye for an eye right there, as one Stalker survives and is killing SCVs. And still really anybody's game. I think at this point that army of Phoenix is extremely scary. Flying over 3 Spore Callers without even blinking an eye, lifting off some drones, actually losing a decent number, I think, in that. Well, maybe not. And oh yeah, he's got some more reinforcements down here, so a huge Phoenix flock, some Marines, Marauders, and Thors, and now iRageQuit is kind of forced to rebuild his main over in this area, which is really awkward. The tanks I don't even think can get through here, maybe. And it looks like more DTs are on the way from Gatorduck, and Geeb now with some infestors of his own, and Dinky the one going for mass hydras, so interesting there. A scan revealing all of the Dark Templars right in front of the Thors, just ripping them up. And so this army has got to be very careful. There's a bunch of infestors up here from Geeb sitting on this high ground trying to bait that army in. There's no neural parasite, however, for Geeb. And now the Phoenix support from niknight. Oh my god, there are 3 tabs of Phoenix flying around the map. This is even starting to lag my computer. There's so many Phoenix flying around. We can just follow them over here. Whee! Flying in a pretty cool formation there. I think Dinky wanted to attack here, but he ran into a stimmed up ball of Marine Marauders and some tanks. So, This defensive strategy plus Mass Phoenix seems to be paying off for the bottom team for the time being. It looks like Plagues finally cleaned up this base that was up here. And could he be moving to support this Thor March? I think the infestors for Geeb have been revealed there. Zerglings are getting a lot of free hits on the Thors, but now the reinforcements for Plagues have arrived and are going to move up the front line, followed up by a few Thors from Rizza. These infestors trying to get in position to do some good fungal growth. You see a couple of them going off there, a lot of damage being done. However, there's no support on the ground to follow up these fungal growths, and now Geeb's main base is under siege yet again. And this natural expansion looks to be the next target, which has been upgraded to a lair. Geeb, however, is going to leave the game. Oh man, oh, and it looks like I just missed a huge battle of these Phoenix. Oh my god, I just missed a huge Phoenix battle. I think I may need to actually go back. Okay, you guys, I'm going back. I'm going back about 1 minute here, because I have to see what took out 2/3 of that giant ball of Phoenix. As the Phoenix straight up engaging this army of 1,000,000 Hydralisks, and just look how low they're getting on life. And I think that the support here from Rizza is what's going to turn the tide in that battle. If it weren't for that, these Phoenix might have suffered even way more casualties. Look how low on life they are. Now Stalkers for Gatorduck blinking up here to try and clean up some of these Phoenix. However, the Phoenix will be able to get away there so fast. And now the trash talking will commence by niknight. Proud of his Phoenix, proud of his Mass Phoenix. And it looks like top team may be Dunsky in this game. Geeb has already quit, and now most of their army has been annihilated. You've got Rizza shelling away at this base from the low ground here. You've got Plagues with all of these Hydras, and Rizza even with more Thors. So the Mass Phoenix getting it done in this game, and I know most of you who play a lot of 4s have seen this happen before, where somebody will go Mass Phoenix and it ends up being so powerful. But it's not that Mass Phoenix is overpowered or is cheesy in this type of matchup. I think the top team could have dealt with it if they had coordinated their efforts a little bit better. But again, it is difficult because the Phoenix are so fast. It's difficult to force them to engage when you want them to. You have to use the even some carriers out here for niknight. You've got to use the infestors in tandem with the stalkers and or Hydralisks to really have a good engagement against all this Phoenix. Otherwise, they will just lift off all the ground units, and nothing will be able to fight back. You see how quickly those Hydras get taken out. And the numbers have to be comparable. If the Phoenix have a reasonably larger number, you're totally screwed. Totally screwed. You gotta at least be even plus infestors to take on this army, even as in with stalkers or Hydras. So, pretty cool there. Seeing the power of the Mass Phoenix in this game. It looks like we are just deciding not to leave the game, or somebody is not leaving the game. So I want to thank niknight for sending me this game. It was a pleasure to cast. The power of Mass Phoenix exposed. The other thing is that you need better scouting, because if they had known what was going on down here, the 3 Zerg on the top team and yet applying no pressure early in the game, I think really hurt them. And allowing niknight to cannon the front of his base up here, and just massing up Phoenix without it being scouted until pretty late. So yeah, that is going to do it for me. This is IrieStarcraft, and peace out.